G'day guys, it's Art with Smurf. Hey, Smurf here. Welcome to Volume 2 of Drawing Anime. Today we're actually going to get into some sketching, so that's cool. First off, just want to say if you're hungover and you're watching this, or you're lying in bed, or you don't want to follow along, that's fine. You might learn something, or you might not, I don't know. So, I forgot to mention earlier, if you've got all your pencils and you're set up, grab a 2B pencil. They're the best. They're not going to be too light or too dark. They're not going to really cut into your paper. I'm using just printing paper. I'm using just crap stuff. So if you guys didn't want to spend any money, don't use your Derwents. Or, well, if you want to, you can, but you only need a crappy pencil. Put that over there. Just want to mention 3 ways of drawing anime. We're only going to be covering one, otherwise the series would be over straight away. Next time I'll show you quickly how to do the other 2. We're not going to really get into them because they're easy and they don't take long to do. My light box broke. I made it out of just glass and a small light. We'll eventually get over to that. I think they're $50 to buy. I'm still waiting for mine in the mail. I got it off eBay, but we don't need that yet. Otherwise I would have specified that in the last video. Okay, so grab a coffee, get some energy, and we'll go over these techniques. So the first one is the easiest. You just want to print off whatever picture, whatever animated character you love, and just draw around the lines in black, then colour it in. That's how easy it is. There's a bit more to it than that, but that's practice. The second way is to sketch it actually from the picture. You can print it, but don't use tracing paper and don't use a light box. This can be more challenging. Even if you have a laptop, pull up some pictures, you got an iPad, whatever, save it, blow it up, whatever, and just sketch off that. I highly recommend this in your spare time. You'll get to learn curves, proportion, dynamics, all that important stuff, and you just get better naturally and with more practice at drawing anime. However, in this series, we're going to be going from start to finish, and I know that sounds a bit hard, but the more you practice, it's going to get easier and you're just going to be amazed at what you can do that you didn't know you could do before. And I don't want to just go through, oh hey, I've been not drawing anime for ages. Everyone should get that. That's not what I want to cater to. I don't want to say, hey, there's that idea in my head. I did that 6 years ago. I know the technique. You guys should know that too. I don't want to do that. So we're going to be using this as a guide, techniques for drawing the female body, and that's going to help us out a lot. No matter what level you are, you're going to understand. You won't have to buy the book. We're going to go through the whole thing. I'll do all the research for you. All you have to do is sit there with a pencil, and if you don't like my techniques, they don't work for you, try something else. I'll be going through a lot. I'll be going over a lot of techniques. Anyway, let's head over to our desk. Okay guys, here we are at the drawing table. Have 2B pencil, nice and sharp. Let's use my hobby knife. Bit of sandpaper. We're ready to go. We've got our nasty paper. Okay, so where the fuck do we start? What are we supposed to do? Let's run through that. Sorry about that. Okay, I want to go just quickly over the 3 basic rules of drawing the female figure. First off, avoid straight lines. So, if this is an arm and, let's just say this is an arm. Straight lines, no. The more round and more curved you can make just any line, eyes, hair, it's going to flow better, it's just going to look a lot more natural. So if we do an arm, let's just say that's the shoulder. Ooh, that's really bad. Sorry, I want to get this done, so it might look a bit rough. That's an alien's arm. More curves, the better. I use a technique, I envision a triangle, because the female characteristic has a larger pelvis than the male. The hips should be wide, so just bear with me. Let's just say, for instance, this is the head, so really, really rough sketches, guys. That's the head, and then we have a nice slender body like this, something like that. Have the rib cage coming down here, and the hips coming here. Midsection. Also, it's good to draw sections like this. So if you say this is the hip section here, this is the midsection, that can be, this line can be shoulders. And why this is important, because if the shoulders pivot on an angle, this would actually come up like this. This is getting pretty messy. Let's go back to the triangle anyhow. So if you imagine this is a rough sketch, and your triangle, I'm talking about triangle, will come up like this. And that works in proportion, sorry, the hips are more down here. This is a rough drawing. That works in proportion with the rib cage and chest area and the wideness of the hips. So you can envision that triangle, it's going to balance things out a lot better. Okay, next technique is the figure 8. So we're going to draw first a head, so something like this. Wow, that's an awesome head. Let's say this is the hair. Oh, wish my hair looks like that. That's cool. Let's not go too overboard. That's the face, you get the point. Okay, so down the middle, we'll just draw a line. Not really the middle. Okay, so that's the head. And then what we want to do is like a figure 8, except a bit more bigger at the bottom. Right, now, okay, let me just tone that up a bit. And that's sketching. You go over your lines heaps. Sometimes they don't make sense. And there's no neck on this. But if you can envision this figure 8, this is the shoulder boundaries. And then the rib cage and chest area will come in and then out to the hips. As we sketch, we can get an idea how this is going to look. And for the hips, you can even add just a rough circle there. The shoulders. And this is just the basics. This is how you're going to get started. And of course, you'd have pivot points here. This is where parts of the body move. So if she was leaning to the left a bit, this would come up, and the shoulders might also go that way. We'll get into that a bit later. But what I'm trying to teach you is to envision the image and how things work. Even bones come into play. I mean, not that I use them much, but they're important. So, yeah. Look at your figure 8. If I go over my sketches to where I'm happy, even though there's no neck, let's say that's the neck, and that's the head. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, so we add this, and come down there. We're starting to get our basic shapes. And these circles and figure 8s, and they're going to help. And see, as we come down here to the stomach and then to the hips, we're getting this nice figure. Carries down there. Okay, so the figure 8 does help. Also, let's just look at our triangle. Yeah, that seems to be working. These techniques are for noobs, but they're good to use. I still use them, but I've done, as I said, I've done a lot of drawing, so not to be a boastful dickhead. I envision this all the time. It's good to get in your head. Put you away. Okay. Let's move on. I'm just looking at my book now. I don't want to go through every little thing. It's not relevant, all of it. And sorry, let me just get there. Okay, so we're looking at differentiating body types. So if we go to the average build, we'll just sketch that quickly. So we'll just do a head here. Wow, this is really hard because I have to sit on the left so the camera can see. Okay, so let's say we've got a head here. Just do some hair. Jesus Christ, that is really bad. And you've got sort of face here. I like drawing these little things because it says the eyes are looking that way. Your nose would be about here, then you'd have a mouth here, sort of your expressions here. So that's sort of looking to the left. Now, this is a slender sort of look, very streamlined. Sorry about the arms, they are horrible. Sort of go like this. But this is what sketching's about, just having a go, seeing what works. If our final image looked like this, I would stop doing this channel. And then we have sort of a shorter stomach. This is in anime. Everyone looks really cool and tall. So even if we have the chest coming to here, and then the hips coming out here, this is what we have. It's a slender build. As you can tell, really wide legs. This is sort of a side view. The stomach and lower abdomen are both slightly rounded. So, see, your stomach sort of comes out there. And it's sort of rounded. And the lower abdomen, so as you can see here, the hips have got this round effect. Okay, so we're starting to work in circles now. And then when you get to the top of the torso, it's a lot more feminine and smaller. Anyway, when we move up to the athletic build, you tend to have a prominent breastbone, broad shoulders to house the well-developed lungs, and limbs are drawn more tapered at the elbows and knees. So as you can see, more athletic, it might be a tiny bit more musclier, might have even a thinner chest bone, might have just a bit of a longer stomach. and the hips might be bigger, even more so. Also, just quickly, with the neck, it tends to be a little bit longer in anime because these super awesome people that look absolutely stunning have longer necks. Right. Okay, so let's start with the top. Just want to make this one space. The head. And shoulder, neck obviously. Shoulders. The trick with this, 10 points, is to just figure out where stuff should be, how big it should be. So maybe the shoulders need to be lower. Maybe the abdomen needs to be lower. And you just go over it like that. Maybe the head needs to be bigger. And with this system you can generally work out where stuff should be, and it's all by look. So your character might be taller, it might be shorter, it could have 4 arms for all I know. This is just a simple way that's universal to work out proportions. So you know, if you did different positions, you could say, hey, that face should be 1 inch and the body should be 3 inches down. So when using this system, it's more of a personal way of working things out, depending on what size of piece of paper you've got. This is only A4. If it was A3, it might be 1.5 inches for the face. So just working out measurements really helps. It might be 1.5 inches. Not too worried about hair now. So if you guys are following along at home, don't worry about hair. So, don't worry about hair, just worry about head and body, arms and legs. And if you can get that sketched, then you're winning. Don't worry about hands and feet. We're going to cover them next lesson because they take a bit. And of course, try and envision your figure 8. Sketch it if you want. Use that triangle, baby. And by doing this, you can get a good outline. So do what you got to do. Erase stuff that you're not happy with. And next episode, we should have an outline. Well, if you guys want to follow along, something you're happy with, even a character that you've sketched off the screen or traced. And we'll get into faces, eyes, hands and feet, and we'll get that done. And then from there we can get a nice black outline. Okay guys, thanks for watching that video. We covered just the basic outline of the body. We're going to do eyes, hands and feet next episode. So if you want to go ahead and do some sketching, or you just like watching this video, come up with 2 sketches like these we just did before. Come up with something basic. Hopefully try and just get an outline. I know, not like this. Try and get an outline that you're happy with. After all, it can be a bit hard because everyone's going to have different characters, different hair. I'm just trying to give you some techniques. I'll be doing some sketching after this video and I'll come up with an outline by next video. And I'm simply going to draw an outline which I'm happy with, then I'm going to erase it. And I'm going to change things and I'm going to compare it with other pieces of work and I'll say, nah, that shoulder could be a bit lower. See, that doesn't look right. It needs a longer neck. Wow. And just refine. Repetition is the key to getting a good outline. When we do that, we're going to trace or lightbox that. And then we're going to work on hands, hair, all that stuff. But thanks for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. It was a bit rough and quick because this video is probably going to go for about half an hour. So just practice and I'll see you on next episode of Art with Smurf. Also, please comment. If there's something I've missed, please remind me. I'll try and provide you with the information or do something on the video. And if you're really crazy like me, subscribe, and we'll be doing free art lessons every week. Okay guys, till next episode.